Hey everybody, it's Tom.
I'm T.
And we're from Show Me Coasters, and today we are coming to you from
Six Flags Magic Mountain in Valencia, California. I've been to this park twice, back in 1989, aging myself, and again in 2015 when we took the big vacation. When we went back in 2015, I barely remember the park. It looks so much different with all the new coaster that has been added in 20 years.
So today we were going to bring you the top 19 list from there. It's we've ranked the coasters. Six Flags Magic Mountain is known as the thrill capital of the world because it has 19 coasters, which is the most.
It should be the roller coaster capital because they have the most. They have so many that a few of the coasters are built into the parking lot. And at number 19 is the Magic Flyers. You see this kind of coasters all over Six Flags for the kids section, but this one is longer. The other Six Flags more like a mini train. Yeah, my nephew John and Nathan wrote this, but I never had a chance to ride it. But it looks, for the little ones, preschool, it's enjoyable.
Yeah, this little coaster used to be called Junior Goliath. It's a cute little coaster. It was built by Bradley and Kay, and it opened with the park in '71.
Yeah, you can still see that the train still look like Thomas and friends from Thomas the Train.
And at number 18, we have Speedy Gonzales' Hot Rod Racers.
This was built by Sam Perla. This is actually a new addition. It was added to the park in 2014. So I never had a chance to ride this one.
This has got some cute theming. For Six Flags, that's amazing theming actually. Yeah. It actually goes around like twice in a row, but for time constraints, we only have one round on it. And at number 17, we have Canyon Blaster, which is the E.F. Miller coaster here at the park. It's a little more intense than the previous two. It's a little higher and a little faster. I'd say this is geared more towards like maybe 6 or 7 year olds.
It is on the short side.
It's on the short side. It has, they all have the similar layout twice around, and you do 2 cycles on it.
And the good thing about that is all these kiddie coasters are located in one section, Bugs Bunny World.
And at number 16, we have Roadrunner Express, which was built by Vekoma. This one is a little more intense than the other.
Wile E. Coyote. Yeah, it's themed similar to Wile E. Coyote in Six Flags Over Texas.
Yeah, but this is a much more intense.
It's more intense.
This layout is more similar to the Spacely Sprocket Rocket and Six Flags Great America. But this is a really good coaster. It's got some good height, some good banks, and some great air time hills.
Probably more like 8-9 years old.
Yeah, I would say this is geared more to
it's a good
8-9
kids ride.
Yeah, this is a good training coaster for the mid, the middle kids.
I got credit for this one. I rode it with my godson when we visit California. Metropolis.
And at number 15, we have Gold Rusher, which is the aerodynamics mine train here at the park.
This one is very scenic. It goes through the woods and stuff. It's very enjoyable. I don't know what, but it seems like the California park, their coaster hold up better. Maybe it's the dry air, that's not rusting the coaster like in the Midwest here.
Yeah, but also, this is an all-steel coaster. There's no wood in this one at all.
Yeah, this is different. Who's this made by?
This is an Aero.
Yeah. Most of tubular mine train, they have wood support, but this one is built into the terrain.
Yeah, and
it's very unique.
It's great. It makes for a great ride. And this is the first coaster that they built at Six Flags Magic Mountain. So it's also their oldest.
Oh. And at number 14 is the Green Lantern First Flight, made by Intamin. When we were waiting in line, the natives tell us, don't ride this ride, it's rough. But when Tom and I got on, it barely spin. And compared to the 4D free spin by S&S, this ride is relatively short. And it's weird. It's more like a rectangular block that's laid straight up.
Yeah, it's more vertical than it is horizontal, which is what the 40 free spins are more horizontal.
No, longer.
Yeah, they are longer.
Yeah.
Yeah, the second time we rode it, it spun more. It was a little more intense ride the second time, I think.
I agree. And at number 13 is Viper, built in 1990 by Aerodynamic. This is the only looping coaster that's still operating that has 7 inversions. Shockwave in Six Flags Great America has been removed, and Great America Swing Machine in Six Flags Great Adventure in New Jersey is torn down also. So, for historical reason, I think this is the reason why they won't tear this ride down, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I think this is a pretty good ride. It's a little on the rough side.
Yeah,
I mean, most aerodynamic
the first time we rode it,
are kind of rough.
It wasn't bad. We remember we sat behind those French girls.
Yeah.
And the second day when it rained, that we rode it, it was a little rougher. But in my opinion, it's a pretty good ride.
Yeah, it's definitely rideable. I enjoyed it.
At number 12 is the Ninja, the park's gondola. It's made by Arrow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, on the first day, this was we were ambitious. We rode, what we rode first? Full Throttle, then we did Viper, then we did Tatsu and X-Flight. By the time we finished this ride, we felt a little queasy. It was slow. We arrived in California on a Friday, and it was slow Friday afternoon. This one ride is very scenic. This is on top of the Samurai Mountain, the section of the park. It is the tallest part of the section. Tallest part of the park. You have to take the, what did you call it, the trolley up?
The train.
The train up, like a ski lift. But it's very scenic. It drops you into down the valley and through the trees. I noticed it swung a little bit more than the other gondola coaster.
I actually enjoyed this one a lot better than any of the other gondolas.
Yeah, not like Cedar Point has that great.
They got a straight. The only bad thing about this one that I didn't care for was the end.
When the ride ends, it lifts. It
takes so long
to get it back up to the top because
they
lift you back to the top of the mountain. Overall, it's a.
But I think this is a much better ride than, say, the Bat or Iron Dragon.
Yeah, it's very relaxing. It's, it's not very forceful. It's very enjoyable.
It's already better than Iron Dragon.
At number 11, we have New Revoulution. This was originally called Revoulution, built in 1976.
It's actually made by Schwarzkopf. I usually don't care for Schwarzkopf, but this one, it's very scenic. It's right around the front entrance, the valley before you go to the mountain.
Yeah, I think it comes up behind
by Tatsu, between Tatsu and Full Throttle.
So it's actually a really fun ride, and they redid it in 2016. They bought new trains.
Yeah, they removed the over-the-shoulder harness.
And now it has the lap bar with the calf restraints as well. It's like on the RMC. So that makes the ride experience a lot different. You get a little more airtime on some of the hills now, and it's just a much more enjoyable ride.
Because from first appearance, I thought this was made by Arrow, but it's a Schwarzkopf. I think, in my opinion, it's better than Mindbender and Shockwave in Georgia and Six Flags Over Texas, respectively. But it's a great scenic ride. It's not too intense, not too forceful. And it's enjoyable.
And that's one of the great things about Magic Mountain. They use their terrain to their advantage. Yeah. Their coasters are all worked into the terrain, and
especially
a lot of
Tatsu.
Yeah, they're just great rides. And at number 10, we have Apocalypse, which is the GCI coaster here at the park.
This roller coaster is very good, very smooth. I think it has to do something with the very dry atmosphere, the dry area of Southern California. But it was opened in 2009. It was themed to Terminator Apocalypse, and the queue line is it's very themed out. It's a great coaster, and it's pretty long for a GCI.
Yeah, I really like this coaster. It's really fun. It's one of my favorite GCIs out there.
For people that have visited the park first time, this coaster is sitting way back. If you don't look for it, you might not find the entrance to it. And at number 9 is Batman the Ride. Unfortunately, we didn't get a chance to ride this ride because we were trying to ride the other rides that we knew that this Batman the Ride was all was every Six Flags. So even though a lot of coaster enthusiasts hate the concept of clones that Six Flags has, I really like the Batman at Six Flags chain. You know, I like it because all the elements. It is a short ride, about 2,700 feet, but the elements are back to each other. And other parks that has the beat invert, that's like 4,000, 5,000 feet they spread those elements out, and I think it takes the intensity away. But you gotta give credit to Six Flags. Oh, it's an intense ride because the elements are stacked back to back for a short ride. And at number 8, it's Riddler's Revenge. This is our first and favorite beat 'em stand-up coasters.
Yeah, this layout is incredible. It's a great ride. It's smooth, it's fast.
And it's other beat 'em stand-up when we ride, I mean, your knees and your ankle, the jarring of the impact. You know, it can be uncomfortable after the ride, but this one is pretty smooth. You know, and the elements are, I think, a little more. I don't know if it's longer than Green Lantern or not, but this is my favorite of all the stand-up coasters.
Yeah, this is one of the ones that I'm glad that they didn't do a floorless treatment on.
Yeah. Oh, it definitely. I mean, they need to keep this. It's a great ride.
And at number 7, we have Scream, which is the B&M floorless coaster here at the park.
This ride is the mirror image clone of Bizarro at Six Flags Great Adventure. I don't know why, but I mean, when we were there, we rode it every day, the 6 days we were there, but it seems a lot shorter than Bizarro. And the thing that took it away was the lack of theming. The theming was not good. The coaster is pretty. And also, it's, I mean, being built onto the parking lot itself. This is coaster, nicknamed the parking lot coaster. It kind of took the enjoyment away. What do you think, Tom?
Well, I still loved the ride.
Yeah,
It's a
we
great
enjoyed it.
ride.
I mean, we rode it 6 times. So.
Yeah.
But it seems a lot shorter for some reason.
Yeah, I love this element, the Cobra roll.
The Cobra roll.
That's one of my favorite elements in any coaster.
It seems like every time we go to the park, no matter how early we went, we always park way back here and had to take the shuttle to go to the front. It's a long walk. I mean, this park is like, it's humongous, folks. And folks, at number 6 is Superman Escape from Krypton. This is the 3rd tallest ride in the world, right behind King of Ka and Top Thrill Dragster. The thing I didn't like about this ride is it doesn't have a full loop like King of Ka or Top Thrill Dragster. And for me, it's an okay ride.
It's pretty much a one-trick pony.
The other thing I didn't like about this ride is just like in the car, you know, the wait can be long because they have to synchronize. They take turn when Lex Luthor drop. This ride cannot go up.
At number 5, we have Twisted Colossus.
The first day we got lucky when we rode this the first time. It raced. I mean, it was. We rode it a few times. I mean, this ride is hard to get it synchronized because the green track, the green side, you know, you can never get the blue train to come out in time for it to race. So most of the time you're riding just regular and no other train around. But if you can get it to race, it's a great ride. Otherwise, it's okay. I mean, this was our second RMC we rode. That we rode. The first one was Outlaw Run in Silver Dollar City. So, what do you think of this ride, Tom?
I like it. I like it a lot.
It's a long ride. Yeah.
It's a long ride. It is a long ride. That's almost kind of a drawback to it.
Yeah.
This would have been better if they would have had both trains come out of the station at the same time.
Yeah, but I guess they were trying to save money. But if you can get it to race, it's a great ride. It's still a good conversion.
At number 4, we have Full Throttle, which is the premier launch coaster here at the park. When it opened, it had the tallest vertical loop at 160 feet. And when you get to the top of that loop, it feels like you're going to fall out, or you're not going to make it all the way around.
Yep.
It's a great ride.
It's intense.
Yeah, it's intense, but it's a little on the short side, I think. But decent theming. They built it into the terrain fairly well, I think, just like most of the other coasters here at Magic Mountain. But I like it. It's just on the short side.
The second launch is unique too. Pull you back and launch you out. But overall, I enjoy this ride. The going back is not as intense here on the top of the structure. The launch with a inversion, the top hat inversion, was totally unique to this ride.
Yeah, the top hat, it's the only one that actually is on top of an actual vertical loop.
And at number 3 is Goliath. This one is made by Giovanola. At that time, Giovanola and Intamin were working together to design these hypercoasters. I don't know. I mean, I'm not sure, but it looked almost identical to Titan in Six Flags Over Texas. It had the same mid-course brake before it dropped to the left. This is made by Intamin, and Intamin is a two-seater, and it's a little sleeker and faster there than the B&M counterpart, which is a four-seater. I enjoyed it. I mean, it broke down a lot when we were there. We only rode it twice. I don't know why, but every time we want to ride it, it's like, oh, sorry, folks. It's closed. It's broke. But overall, the 2 times that we did ride it, we enjoyed it. It's fast, folks.
Yep.
Even with the mid-course brake before it drops to the left. What do you think, Tom?
I think it's a great ride. It's too bad that it breaks down so much, or that it broke down so much. Maybe they've addressed that issue and gotten it fixed since we were there. But I enjoy it. It's a great ride, I think. It's one of the more intense ones that you can ride as far as a hyper coaster goes. It's fun. It's got great theming. I think it's a really pretty. Actually, I think it's a really beautiful roller coaster on its own.
Yeah, you can see it's all in the Screampunk district, and you can see it's next to Twisted Colossus that you can see Scream. Yeah, you can also see this ride from the parking lot too.
Yeah, because it's right next to Twisted Colossus.
Yep.
I think probably they need to do some maintenance and maybe do a little bit of paint on it a little bit. But other than that, it's a fun coaster. It's a great one. It's got to be on your have-to list.
Yeah, I always like Hyper. It's easy. It's tall, but it's no inversion. It's enjoyable ride.
And at number 2, we have Tatsu, which is the B&M flying coaster here at Six Flags Magic Mountain. I put this at number 2 because, well, number 1, I'm not a big fan of flying coasters.
Yeah, I thought you were like, oh, I'm done with coaster after we rode this. It is so tall. Even though it listed as 170 feet high, but the elevation change is 263 feet. This ride is located near it was on, not the top of the mountain of Ninja, but it's pretty tall. It lifts you up to 170 feet, but with a 100 feet elevation, it feels like it's 300 feet tall. And the only experience we had with flying coaster was Superman Ultimate Flight. That's only about 100 feet. It feels like 3 times the height. I thought myself, if the harness break, I'm gonna fall to my death because you were way above the tree line.
Yeah, it's really tall, and they used this is another where they used the terrain. So, and they used it really well. My thing is, I just don't. The pretzel loop is just so painful.
Dive to your from your head, blood rush to it. It's an intense ride. Six Flags built this. They said we'll never spend this much money on a coaster itself. I think they spent like 40 million on this. It's a very expensive coaster. I want to put it number 1, but Tom, for his reason, for some reason, put number 2. So I agree. But it's a great ride. It's a top ride on my list. It's my personal number 1 on this part.
And at number 1, I have X2, which is the Aerodynamics 4th Dimension coaster at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is my favorite coaster there at the park. I think this is Aerodynamics' masterpiece in coaster design. It's just such an intense ride, and it's such fun. Yeah. It's so fun, I think. It's one of my favorite rides.
And this ride was the last ride that Aerodynamic made before they went bankrupt in the mid-2000s. There's another one that's similar in China called Dynaconda. It's made by SDS Worldwide, which did buy a lot of patent from Aerodynamic when they went bankrupt. So this one and Dynaconda is the 2 4th dimensional spinning coasters. And it's very unique. It's intense ride, folks. The pyrotechnic and it's very themed. It reminds me of a Rip-Roar Rocket in Universal Studio in Florida. It's a great ride. What do you think, Tom?
Oh, like I said, it's my favorite ride at the park. It's. I mean, this is like the culmination of everything that you could ever want.
like
and a roller coaster. Really.
It's like that SS
It's
40
not-
free spin on a full circuit.
Yeah, it's much better than the 40 free spins. I think, though, much more.
Folks, thank you for joining us at Six Flags Magic Mountain. This is T.
And I'm Tom.
We're from Show Me Coasters. This is, after all, it's just an opinion. Your ranking might be different than ours, but I truly enjoy this park the week that we spent down there. And it's easy. It is a very hilly park, you know. Not, I'd say equivalent to Silver Dollar City.
Yeah, it's pretty hilly. But it's a great park. It's a beautiful park, I think.
More coaster than you can stick a fork at.
Yeah.
So-
The only thing that I would like to see them do is a little more flat rides, which they did this year. They did add
it is.
Crazanity. But
It's a great park.
it's a great park, and I can't wait to go again. So thanks for joining us, and we'll see you the next time. Tomorrow is the release for
Of
Six Flags
2019.
announcements for 2019. So we'll be bringing you that. So we'll see you the next time. Again, this is Tom and T. Thanks for watching, and like and subscribe.
Good night.